welcome, welcome. What?
I don't know. I can see messages coming in.
Yeah, are we ready? Are we good to go, Adrian? Oh, try putting my...
Yeah, I think no, we're on. We're definitely on.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, I think no, we're on. We're definitely.
Okay. Well. All right, everybody, hang on. We're getting it. We're getting it. Greetings, 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 everyone. Glad you made it. Saluntra, beautiful. Okay. Welcome. This is Sienna Lea of Quantum Disentanglement, Shadow Synthesis, and Rise Multiversity, and I'm here with a dear friend and a student and an amazing woman who has is your thing called Unleash Yourself? And she is definitely unleashing herself and we're going to have fun. Good afternoon, Em. Well, it's evening, right? You're in the UK. I'm in Ecuador. Awesome. All right, y'all. So I'm a little low key today. Transparency is the name of the game here. And so I was fairly violently attacked last night. Completely blew out my knee, crazy, crazy stuff. And I was going, what is this? What is going on? And it was definitely on topic. And the topic today is the terrible mother, and the dark feminine, and the role that the dark feminine is playing in fueling all of the negative agendas and its relationship to artificial intelligence. And it's a topic that really doesn't want me to talk about it at all, because I've been pounded like for hours and hours. So I'm really going to talk about it. And so if any of you are sort of trolling through YouTube and wondering who the heck are these wild women, we are a part of Rise Multiversity. We've been here many years, and we're creating content and healing processes that address shadow in a very deep and authentic way, and the relationship of our shadow selves with the absorption into the totalitarian tiptoe and the AI imposition that is behind it all. So if that makes you want to flip channels, you go right ahead. We'll see you later. And those of you who are here for this kind of information, let's just dive in. So Emma, quick check-in. How are you doing over there?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. It is evening here in the UK. It's very dark, very cool. But yes, raring to go today, raring to go.
All right. So I'm going to start with a little thing that I wrote to try to ease into this and see if we can't transcend the nasty, energetic that doesn't want this exposed. So this is not an easy topic to expose, to be honest, because, there's certain taboos that, things that are politically incorrect, things that we go to great lengths not to notice, not to make conscious, not to feel, not to even believe they're true. And this topic today about the dark feminine and the role that the mother plays in indoctrinating people into living outside of the ability to be real or be in reality is really a politically incorrect topic. Nobody is supposed to talk about this, okay? Our mothers, I mean, come on, what is more sacred than your mother, right? Right? Over there. You gonna back me up on that, Emma?
Absolutely, absolutely. There is supposed to be nothing more sacred than the life-giving, most wonderful, nurturing person that is supposed to be, just the most loving in your life. And
Right.
to read that, yeah, there's nothing like it. Yeah.
You know, I have a questionnaire when people do a series of private sessions to untangle all of this. And almost uh, all the time when I say, was your mother, what's your mother like? Was she there for you? Almost everyone goes, oh, yeah, kind of. Well, now that I think about it, maybe just physically, I don't know. What does that mean? It's this whole amorphous land of the spell where we cannot identify one of the most fundamental traumas and its impact that is putting us on automatic pilot and self-sabotaging behaviors can be for the rest of our life if we don't figure this out. And even psychology, I mean, I have to thank very much Michael Tessarian of Unslaved.com. I've been circling the dark feminine for decades, but he particularly nails it in his Dragon Mothers series. And I want to start breaking this down and then having a discussion with you about it, unpacking it, uh, uh, so that, because why? I mean, the world is positioned to become profoundly enslaved more than we ever have been, or to liberate ourselves in a way that we never have. And if we're going to have to be liberated ourselves in the core of our programming. You know, the dark side, that the controllers of this planet, they have been systematically doing the, as David Icke says, totalitarian tiptoe for thousands and thousands of years. The state of our psychological selves is no accident. It was absolutely engineered so in the final end game, when they play the trump card, we can't take the actions needed to liberate ourselves, and we go under them for the final lockdown. And that's what they're hoping for. And I know that there are a gazillion podcasts, and I mean, a lot of them are getting taken down. You have to look really hard. The whistleblowers, they're truthers coming out on so many levels, and bless their hearts, they are our heroes, and they have the courage to risk everything to get the truth out. And I would like to be, you know, we're kind of in the back room here. We're the green room. We're on the dashboard. We're looking at the psychological self that's getting pinged and distorted and eaten and harvested and absorbed by these evil forces. We don't want to always just be looking at politics and the global arena outside, and we don't always want to be looking inside. And it seems it's usually either one or the other. So I could read this thing, Emma. Do you want to insert anything here before I do?
Yeah, one of the mother wound is something that yeah, it needs to be worked on. It needs to be brought out because like you say, when you go up against people or, you know, relationships, and especially when you come across your mother, and, you know, people say to you, you can't say that kind of thing about your mother. You can't say that. She did all of this for you. She sacrificed her life for you, which really is really what we're just about to dive into, you know, that our mothers, you know, were taught and conditioned to completely sacrifice themselves for everybody else, and therefore teaching the daughters to do exactly the same. So yeah,
But they weren't really sacrificing what they're doing. I mean, I want to, that's just one of the con jobs, you know, because of people that have been so traumatized, they've given up on themselves. What they're really doing is inserting their will where your will belongs.
yeah.
And their will has already been compromised, sold out, contracted, and forced agreement up the yin yang to the matrix, to the police state. Let's just put it that way, to the controlling police state. Through the super conscious, which is, you know, you're bad, you do this, you do that. It has nothing to do with conscious. Has nothing to do with your authenticity. It has nothing to do what you came here for, which is embody you, which in the individuality that will bring your unique superpowers and your potentials and your contributions to break the corrupt controllers gridlock at every level of this. We all have different parts of this uh, mission, and most of us have been trauma-based mind control out of being able to step forward and speak our truth, just for starters.
Mm.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, let me read this. So, living with reality, has this ability gone extinct? And that may sound like a ridiculous thing to say, but it actually, for the most part, has. So, we are in a war, and each of you and us is the target. It's a war in many levels. It's psychological, and it's about being absorbed into this sinister AI rollout, this transhuman agenda that is playing on the fact that our humanness is so painful, is so highly traumatized, that most of the people that I take into early birth, are screaming, "Get me out of here. This is disgusting. I don't want to be here." Pop right out of the body, pop right out of the body. Death becomes life. And I want to just talk about that for a minute, because and again, I really recommend The Dragon Mother, Tessarien's book, Michael Tessarien's book. He lays this out so graphically, and it's going to piss off so many women probably. But for those of you who are really ready to heal and face this deep shadow, you're the ones who are going to turn this around. Because if we don't turn this around and we take down all the evildoers, what are we going to create? If we are tied to repetitive self-sabotage and narcissistic, out of control, um, dishonest, fake, and destructive behaviors, we're going to recreate the same thing that we just tore down. And the relationship of every child to his mother is huge. Why? Because the child is completely quadriplegic, he's totally symbiotic. It doesn't have a mind, can't change his own diet, can't feed him or herself, completely helpless. And the mother is the total ecosystem, right? In the womb, in the birth, with the cord, with the breasts, with all of it. It's mainly, there are exceptions, of course, but I'm talking about the majority. The mother is the primary influence. Okay, so the mother has more often than not been broken by the because when she was a child, her mother, maybe she was in World War II or World War I, or she was, heavily traumatized, or being beaten or impoverished, or the bazillion things that happen here to people in this control grid. And there comes a point of extreme trauma where decisions are made, where we cut a deal with the dark side, where our ancestors cut a deal with the dark side, and where our mothers cut a deal with the dark side. And that's complicated. It involves self-inquiry and some months of deep understanding of mapping out the psychological self and seeing all of those specific agreements and how they have shaped your life, your choices, what you do, what you bring into your life. Because we're talking about primary imprintation. We're talking about the core programs that then are the underlying for everything else unless they're changed. And so, okay. I'm going to just read a little bit of what I wrote here. And, we're going to go at this from a number of different angles. But one thing I want to say before I even dive into this, and this was from a research, 30 years ago with Aisha Love, and because she was very much one of those feminine beings that are so rare, that are really embodying certainly in a large part, the uncorrupted feminine, the uncorrupted love that has been under attack by originally by the demons, by the dark feminine, by and then all of the minions and all of the patriarchy. I mean, it's been it's been back and forth. I by no means am trying to say, you know, women bad, women dark, men good. It isn't like that. It's been, you know, it's been back and forth. It's been back and forth with horrible atrocities and horrible, horrible wounding by design. But if we get to just to the birth, because this is where this is the gateway that all of human, the birth canal, the primary months and years that we all go through as these incredibly vulnerable, pure, beautiful creatures that just need to anchor. We need to anchor so we get in the body and we come into this avatar from where we've come from, and we learn how to be here. And our vulnerability, our tenderest, most uncorrupted heart needs permission, needs a celebration, needs a fireworks to go off, needs to be welcomed, needs to be loved, so that we go, oh, that's who I am. Cool. And then we can grow up through all the stages of growing up. But sadly, we are almost all of humanity is in a state of arrested development, frozen at the point where uh, mom wasn't there, dad wasn't there, in presence, maybe mentally, maybe, you know, you lived in a big mansion, maybe you had everything you wanted, maybe they spent gazillion dollars for your education, but being to being, that which a being freshly on earth recognizes as, this feels safe, I belong, I'm cared for, I'm good, I'm lovable. If none of that's there, then the survival aspect massively, even without a brain or any logical facilities, going, what do I do to please this woman? I've got to get her to love me, because without love, I can't survive, because the failure to thrive. Without love, the death hormone can get released. There are a lot of crib depths, and if there's no hope for your for you, if there's no love and you really get that, oftentimes the baby will die. So immediately it has to block out reality. And therefore we get back to, it has the ability to be in reality gone extinct. It starts right there with the most powerful imprint, that we can't face the truth, that mom can't love us. So we try to get her to love us for the rest of our lives. I'll be this for her. And then, you know, we start telepathically, oh, she wants me to be a doctor. Oh, she wants me to be pretty. Oh, she wants me to do this. Oh, she wants me to be everything she wasn't allowed to be. So there's this complex psychological programming going on, because now I am arrested in the moment of, I've got to get this love so that I can move on. However, it's often never comes, and that pattern is played out with wives, with friends, with for the rest of our lives unconsciously. And the will of the mother gets inserted as the will of the child. Because it is an adult world, you have to learn what they want of you and do it, or you could die, right? So we are born in lockdown, y'all. We are totally born in lockdown. So do you want to weigh in at this moment before we go any further?
Um, yes, I totally agree. I mean, looking at women in my own life and seeing them come from daughters to become mothers, and then their own daughters, sort of, and how it's all passed down, you know, ancestral lines, how we are attacked in the womb even before we're born, you know, and certain things, I mean, because we are conscious in the womb, we can hear things, we can feel things, we can you know, sense things that are going on. So we already have a sense of what's going on before we even come out into reality. And then more and more is more and more is imprinted on us from our wounded mothers, from all the wounded women that are around us. And then we are taught and conditioned to yada yada yada, destroy our own dreams, play small, and then get sort of conditioned into the female collective, the female matrix, where we have to give everything away. We can never keep anything for ourselves. And this is where I actually speak to a lot of women at the moment who haven't even been asked what they want, and it's like, well, I do this for my family, I do this for my husband, I do this and I do this. And it's like, well, what do you do? I ask a lot of questions. What do you do for yourself? What is it that you want for yourself? And all of a sudden women get stuck. So yeah, it's a biggie for sure. It's a biggie for sure, but not one that's commonly talked about.
And we have some friends, some students, some of the tribe here. And if you feel like chiming in, especially around the contracts with my mother, yeah, I just figured out that, if I engage in covert incest with her, she'll be fine. But, because that's a whole other thing. I mean, the things that mother, it's all unconscious it's in the swamp creatures, all doing this funky stuff, and nobody's taking responsibility for making these agreements. And most of us don't even know there are all these soul fractures, inner baby, inner demons, inner children, inner young adults. We're a cast of fractured characters, and they're all vying. They all have these twisted agreements, and they can take over the steering wheel if they feel threatened, or if we feel threatened. And the whole idea is to keep us serving our abusers, pretty much. Yes.
Yeah.
And but mom trains us to do it. So it's tricky, because most people, all right, let's rewind. And I know many of you have heard this already, but so when the baby is doing everything it can to get the mother's love, but it's never enough. It's never good enough. Mom's unhappy. She's on drugs. She's, brings a sling of guys into the house that abuse, whatever's going on. We're always trying to fix mom or give her what she needs. And because the whole directive is, if mom is happy, she can love me, and then I'll get to grow up. So it's always, and so we can become. But then you see, if that doesn't happen, okay, then they deliver us into the government schools, into religion, and then there's another set of terrible mothers who tell you what's right and what's wrong. But remember, that baby is still desperately just trying to anchor. So the mom kicks you to the curb, and then you go into the system. And so we anchor like crazy. We get contracted to the system to believing the lies, the deceit, the to not see. We make agreements, forced agreements. I won't ever see the truth of who you really are. I'll just do everything that you want of me, because it's this wounded part of ourselves desperately trying to anchor. So civilization itself, the whole, and how can I put it? What's in the core? Sorry, guys, I'm having kind of a lot of energy to fight through right now. They don't want me to say any of this. Civilization, right at the core, is a loosh farm for harvesting pain and suffering, and lying to us that we have freedom and we have none, that we have rights and they've all been taken from us. and that we matter. And we only matter as food for the predators. We matter as slaves for the system. That's it. That's what's been going on here for thousands and thousands of years. But the subconscious, these unconscious parts of us that pretty much run the show until they don't, they don't want to face that. You know, they idolize, they want to have fantasies. So we get these filters, and we get a lot of the AI part of it too, and we get interference, and we get our minds taken over with the programming and with there's so many things to believe in their agenda. The question is, why are we doing that? Because now it's mom, it's survival, it's life or death. I have to believe this lie. I have to be fake. You know, and how, you know, and so it goes. So this issue is the program lockstep. Thank you, April. So write in the chat. I want this to be interactive with you in the chat box if you feel like it. Emma, what do you think? I'm sorry, I'm energetically, they're
No,
just
that's
kind
fine.
of pop.
Honestly, if you've got
Yeah.
questions, anything like that of me or Sienna, please just hit them up in the chat box, and we'll go through them as time goes on. But it's it's such a deep and complex subject, because we do get interference from everywhere, from our own mothers, from AI, from 5G, from energetic entities, and it can be a challenge to start discerning what is actually yours, what isn't, why you're getting interfered with, and what is being invoked in you as loose to be fed off. You know what I mean? And it's an unraveling, and it's an unveiling, and our behaviors are the access point to go in, you know, whether we act out. And like Sienna says, it's like these subpersonalities and these inner demons and these inner children. These are the ones that are running the show. These are the ones that are in charge, and these are usually these stories that are the most prevalent and the most prominent in the forefront of our minds all the time. We're not worthy, we're stupid, we can't do this, it's too hard. And all of these things are imprinted by our mother. I mean, the father wound is more, the self-worth and the self-belief, but the mother wound is, do we want to show up as ourselves? Can we be ourselves? Can we really shine? Can we really, you know, be this authentic, beautiful being that we've been, you know, sent here to be?
And the body.
Yeah, in the body. And it's only something that, even through doing years of this work, it's really because we find it, when we come here and we're so traumatized, we find it so painful to be in the body. That's where the disassociation takes place. We step out, and we, even though we're there in our body and we're experiencing our body, we are just so not in it. We are so
now Elke is asking, can you share what would be the most common soul level agreement that moms would have?
Well, yes. I can answer that if you don't mind. I can, to be disconnected from your children, to be so disconnected from yourself energetically and on a soul level and on a heart level and on a love level, and to be so disconnected from your children, to ingrain in them everything that was ingrained in us, and not to break out of that cycle. And if you break out of that cycle, then you will get brain fog, you will self-sabotage, your children will be harmed, you will be harmed. And you know, it's until you bring them forward, these things are running in the background, and it is like that niggling little splinter in the back of your mind. But you seem to want to make a step forward and go in a certain direction, but all of a sudden you can't, and you stop, and you just don't know why. And then all of a sudden you go into this this kind of pit of despair, and this kind of spiral and you're just sat in it and going round and round, and you've got no idea why, because you're trying to break out of this force agreement. Sorry.
No, that was great, Emma. We have between 80 and 200 forced agreements when we came in here. And basically, they are, you will obey, you will not liberate people, you will not let anybody be authentic, the power of an authentic embodied being, or authentic embodied humanity, that will be game over. Because when you fight to get back into you, you have to get into integrity with your conscience, and you have to live your conscience, or you're not a frequency match for your greater being, or for your superpowers, or for the kind of guidance that a lot of people are wanting to hear. We cannot be serving pure evil with these, even if it's unconscious, whether they say, you know, that's no excuse now. If a lot of people come to me, they can't hear anything. They can't hear their guides. They can't hear themselves. They can't hear their intuition. They're completely shut down in an armored cage. These feelings, these core wounds are trapped in the body. And then we create the body armor. You know, Reich talked about it, Lowen and bioenergetics. And we are completely in lockdown in 3D with massive amounts of forced agreements and trauma-based mind controls. Don't you ever break out. You think it's bad now, you break out, you know, horrible threats and all of these sorts of things. And I mean, this is really a bad one, but if you want to know how these trauma-based, these agreements on an ancestral level go, because I'm Jewish DNA, and I've never understood how the Jews could be so brilliant and so mystical and so deep and be such assholes at the same time, myself included, you know, greedy. And, you know, always with the excuse we've been so persecuted that we deserve to just grab. But when people have been really persecuted, they do grab, you know, they get shove-ins, they get entities, and these survival demons come and just take whatever. And a lot of people are that way, but it was troubled me greatly, that aspect of my own shadow. And so I was doing a regression session. This is really hard to hear, you all. So, you know, shadow is sometimes not all a walk in the park. So I was taken way, 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 way back to where these, you know, high Jewish priests and their families were, you know, forced by the gray insectoids to do the satanic ritual. They're the DNA. They're one of the ones that are really the genetic modifiers, and watch their own children get tortured and horribly, horribly abused and killed. And they force these elders to eat their own children. And in that moment, that's where they cast the black magic that splintered the DNA and inserted the gray insectoid into the Jewish DNA. And I realized I was I was always blaming the Jew as part, but it is actually that split and that insectoid gray that was then trauma to become such a vicious part of my psyche and a lot of Jewish people that I know. So when we get contracted either as a race or as a person, it's usually something like that. Now, when we do the regression work here and even the primal work, we don't force you to go to remember every knot and thing and go deep, deep, deep. But we are so terrified of these kinds of truths, people, that we are so armored, we're so shut down, we'll do anything not to feel it because we're afraid. We've got those primary imprints. If I feel that, I'll die. If I feel that I'm even a part of that, I could never believe in myself. How can I? Everyone wants to be a good girl and good boy and feel that they're valuable. How could a part of me be pure evil? And by the way, I just happened to read this book about that, which is Stealing the Moon. It's my journey because you know, I was going to call this working title Confessions of a Dark Sister. So I've been at this for a long time, looking at this level of evil in myself and in students. And but the picture has gotten more and more quantum entangled as we start to understand about the alien imposition here and the artificial intelligence imposition here and the secret of the dark feminine controllers here as well. So I'm working with super courageous people. Some of them are right here, and who are willing to, who are so sick of being the walking dead, because a lot of people, and the young ones, 30 and 40, and I consider you guys kindergartners, um, the super young ones are sometimes 70% absorbed into artificial intelligence. They've been so programmed to really only be intimate with their devices, and they've been so traumatized to not face the core of their humanness in this, world that's getting more and more transhuman in this way. And then the feelings become more and more terrifying, and then all this entertainment and outsourcing and even politics, and now you can scream at the other people, and you can go insane over. You see, the thing is that our will has been violated. That's the bottom line here. Our will has been we've been horribly tortured until we surrendered our will, and we're pissed off about that. And so we have to dissociate from the anger too. And so there's this huge anger. And now we get to be a hive mind and run out on the streets and burn things and scream at, and it's all ass backwards. We're screaming at the wrong people. We're burning the wrong buildings. Because it's front to back, because front would be facing it in here. And we're terrified as a collective to face it in here. So the hive mind, the group mind, the wanting to be part of a cause, to love the political theater, to all engage in this whole thing out there is absolutely an addiction that we're all running and we are all agreeing to. But what's going to happen? If people stay, we will be taken down, because they're gutting us from the inside out. If we're not human, then what are we fighting for? The freedom of what? So let's see here. Can you share what would be most common soul level agreements that mom has? All right, well, let's rewind that. I wonder if we have also made a soul level agreement with AI in order to allow our children to be addicted to heck yes, these technologies. Absolutely, Elke, absolutely. You're all going to have to, if you choose to take this ride, excavate everybody. It's not like generic, although, I can tell you what mine were, I remember, because my mother was she was a closet singer. She had a beautiful voice, but instead, she's in the suburbs in the 50s and had kids, and she hated it, and she hated us, and she hated her life. And because all of that potential was stuffed, and she was a bomb, she was a powerhouse woman. She had a lot of energy. And so, and I didn't know this, but first 20 years I was into theater and all of that kind of stuff. And so she came to a summer stock theater and where I had, a really good role, and I was really revealing things, because theater was a place I could show actually authentic parts of me more than in real life. So I love theater. So I was behind in the wings, and my mom was in the audience, and I almost pooed my pants. I went completely autistic. I couldn't say a word, and I couldn't walk out there, and it completely terrified me. And, later I figured, oh, it'll kill her. It'll just kill my mom. To see that I'm manifesting my talent, and she couldn't do that. She'll hate me. She'll be jealous. I can't do it, because I had that kind of contract going, that I could never develop my talents and abilities, because it would hurt my mother. And that's a big part of the mother wound. Did you have something like that going on, Emma? And if anybody has other stuff, you can write it, and I, will read.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think part of my mother's thing was that she was just so shut down. She was so oppressed. She was abused herself. So it was very, but she was a powerhouse. She was an absolute rebel. She was actually a really, really good psychic. She was actually a really good medium, but it was just something that was never brought to flower in her. And so, and it was never really taught in me either. I was self-taught in that respect, but she was very, very a very good psychic. And it was always something that I wished that would have been taught in my childhood. You know what I mean? That kind of thing, emotional intelligence, intuition, that kind of thing, because of the trauma I went through, she went through, and then I went through. It kind of, I know she was so shut down, and I was so shut down. The only place I could go was in. So I couldn't express out. So the only place I could go was in.
Right. And what was your agreement? Because I want to, I think it's a good thing to break down specific. So your sole agreement with your mother was what?
Really, that I could never break out and never be authentically me, that I had to really.
Why though? Why? What did that do for her? Because you didn't want to hurt her, because you didn't want to make her sad, because you didn't want to make her angry.
Well, that was it. I think the main thing was I didn't want to make her angry, because everything that I did or said was shouted down, criticized, and that kind of thing. So everything I did was not to anger her. It was just to appease her, not to even please her, but to appease her.
So
And yeah,
the will of the mother prevails, and the will of the mother is the will of the matrix. She's the enforcer. But what
exactly.
was she telling you? Don't show up authentically and start, telling people with any kind of crazy psychic abilities how trapped they are and they have entities, and that you can remove this stuff because we're taking them over. We don't want any more psychic truth tellers out there. Thank you very much. So
No.
Tyler says, this is the same with me, Sienna. When I was at school, I would be authentic and express. Then when I went home, I'd be completely autistic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're laying out problems here and there are other people that do great work too. Okay. In the quantum disentanglement, we have to unwind that and see what that is. And, one of the gifts, the way I hear about the human psyche are all this cast of characters. Theater's been my love. I can, people's cast of characters come and talk to me. I don't know. It's just, who I am. And the thing is, it's a pretty well kept secret, because they do say the first sign of insanity is talking to yourself. It's so not true. We have all these characters inside of us, okay? If you start letting them talk, they get their needs met. They get to be heard. They get, because there's always two playing on stage at once in our inner stage, but they're always at war. You're horrible, but what if you said, no, I'm not? Why do you say that? You go, I don't know why, and then you start untangling it, and then you start breaking that contract, and then you start clearing that trauma. And there, all these tools and techniques with the Laura Lee's course and my course and the group work and it doesn't matter about techniques. I mean, we have great techniques, but it's not techniques. This is the organic process of correction. We're being given that we are imperial cells, as the imperial self. That's what Michael Sorry. We are the divine, infinite. We are. I mean, we're all different. We're not all one thing, but we came here to embody what we are. And so, stop the steal, y'all. Stop the steal, because we're permissioning the steal of everything yummy, everything worth living, and we don't even get how we're doing that. So, there are all these guys inside. It doesn't mean you're crazy. Start talking to them. Because if they can talk to you, if you're the good parent, if you're the all conditioning, okay, I'm going to try to love you. You're being a jerk. I don't like the way you've, turned me into an autistic idiot or an abuser or a porn, a guy girl who's addicted to porn. I don't like what you've done to me, but I get there's a reason for everything, that every part of me, dark and light and good and bad, it's all a part of an intelligence. It's all the only way I knew to survive. But now we're moving into a new reality, which is wholeness, which is leading by our uncorrupted heart that hasn't barely been brought into this planet, because this whole hologram was turned on with corruption, with the D-monster, which was the dark feminine. And I mean, there's lots of dark masculine, but every aspect of the dark feminine that she got off on, and she just so got off on torturing, became everything. The religions, the production of everything, the education of everything, the spirituality of everything, the health of everything, pure evil everywhere. But who's really running it? It's the energetic of the dark feminine, largely even now. Now the D-monster's dead. She was taken out. Thank you very much, Laura Leon Aurora. She's not here, but she imprinted in the collective unconscious this beast of hatred of it, but it's all the suppressed energy, all the frustration, all these contracts. Or you can't be this, you can't do that, you can't have an orgasm, you can't have any love, you can't have any connection, you can't like yourself. I mean, stop the steal. We're in total lockdown. We've been in total lockdown our whole lives, people. It's just coming out now. And then it's out there. No, yes, now it's out there. Because why? Because we're all here to wake up. And we couldn't figure it out in here, so we projected it all out there. Now we're all scratching our head trying to figure out what's going on. Found out my mother is an aspect of the D-monster. Oh, yeah. Yes, Bronnie Starseed. Yes, there's a part of our mothers. There's a part of me that was this. That's what this book is all about, having to face that. So if you think it's impossible, have a read. And I had some laugh lines in there too, so it won't kill you. Emma, say something, please.
I did a lot of work on this, and I'm still doing a lot of work on this actually, because I have two daughters. So really diving into this mother wound and where all the guilt and shame is held up, and where the abused comes the perpetrator, and so again passes on down the line. And again, my bless them, my daughters are my greatest teachers, and they aren't always showing me, but I'm always being shown exactly where I need to heal, because of the way they are. I mean, even though I've done my best to come away from my own mother and to rectify anything she's done, but then I still kind of like do my own special, conditioning and messing them up in my own lovely special way. And
well, you were way more of a bitch when I first knew you. You were, and you had a huge cosmic battle, because well, at least you were willing to face it. I mean,
I was evil. I wanted to hurt my partner. I wanted to hurt my children. I wanted to hurt everybody around me. I wanted to hurt myself. And if I wasn't able to hurt anybody, I was going to hurt them even more. And I was a total and utter bitch. And I can still, yes, a total and utter bitch. And I can still be one now. And because I'm still working on it, it's going to be it is a work in progress. But to really own that part of myself, that part that no woman wants to go. No woman wants to go there and say, I've done this, I've hurt myself, I've hurt my children. No one wants to go there. No one wants to say, oh, I hate my mother because she was this or she was that. And it does take a bit of diving into and a bit of delving into to realize exactly what you talked about earlier, how women are just shut down, not feeling anything, not even,
they're feeling something. They're feeling, have you seen them out on the street? Have you seen the hatred? Have you seen this is what I'm saying. And some, there are men out there too, but the women who are out there in these crowds, in these riots, in these going completely ballistic, why? They are through trauma-based mind, they're social engineering it. They're also really, AI is going crazy, pinging all this stuff to amplify, to echo, to repeat, yes. and to use this huge, why? Look, I know that, I've seen more raving maniac women. I've seen guys out there being jerks and beating people up. And it's, I'm not trying to excuse that. But in terms of raving, screaming, raging maniacs, women, and that's by design. That is a louche buffet of the most yummy and delicious for the dark lords, is feminine hatred gone crazy. And the feminine will making, do you know how sick that is? Making that which is mother love, that is that pure nurturing, that is that uncorrupted. I mean, if any of us have had even a few moments, and I've been blessed to have several women in my life that have really embodied that. And it completely changed my whole life, because I saw, oh, this is this, then what's all the rest of this stuff? And you start to get, take off the glasses and go, oh, it's all a con job. It's all that. Because the will, this, you take somebody's rights completely away. And certainly the patriarchy did that with the feminine. And then you give them a child that they can completely control, and they can live out everything you couldn't do, and everything you couldn't have, and everything you couldn't say. And they're going to do it. They're going to do it for me. And now I have power. So they've turned women into monsters, and it's a replication, yes, of the original thing. She set it in place very cleverly. Enough of us have to get this and purge it from our psyches, because otherwise that bitch is going to win, even though she's dead. There's a couple of questions here, or in comments, and it's beautiful. Yes. Anna, I'd say an aspect of the breeder that brought me into this world is also like the D monster, so much contempt. Yeah, and she's talking about MK, and that's a whole other story. And she's had to, Anna, you're such a beautiful, sweet, it has such a sweet heart, and she's had to face the most horrible things off world, being being taken and being tortured, and she's still bringing her heart back in, and she's starting to want to be here again after because when we don't want to be in our body, something is in our body that's going to be controlling us, and using this louche machine to feed pure destruction. And most of us really high vibrational people coming into this density in this storm, it is not easy. That's why I love that we can come together and at least feel each other. Okay. Bronnie Starseed was just never allowed to be myself. Yeah. But I also found out my Earth mother has a hatred for men, which is why the treatment I got as a child was polar opposite to what my younger sister got. Yeah, and you're not supposed to talk about that either. They don't let these this has been such a shock to me, because I was a man hater back in the day, and feminist, and I bought into the whole thing, and I did not see what this feminine, the dark feminine, does to men, and they have no recourse, because this whole smokescreen of but look at you, the patriarch, and look what you did to us, and it's time you get some of it back. It's a huge, I'm not saying that patriarchy didn't do horrible things to the feminine, but it's a huge excuse to torture boys and hurt them and beat them up and take your hatred out on them. And then they're not supposed to feel anything. Be a man. Don't be a crybaby. How dare you? And take care of your mother and take care of your wife. And I mean, what's been done to men is off the charts. And they don't even, that's one of the beautiful things I love about this. At least I can hold space, for all those men I probably tortured in gazillion other life, to hold space for that, to heal that as a female. Yeah. Did you want to say something, Emma?
No, I can just relate to that, sort of like being the absolute demon bitch and being the hater on men, the hater on my own father from my father wound, the hater on my relationships, boyfriends, husband, making them pay for every single ounce of pain that I've ever felt. You absolute,
Yeah. I remember I remember that part of you. Yeah, and getting off on it. You guys, we have to admit, guys and gals, we get off. If you look at it, and we still have to get it. It's actually at a certain point, it wasn't our fault. Now, yeah, if we don't clean it up now, it's on us. But look at, if you cut, I mean, we are energetic, you know, the whole thing of being here is the contrast energies and the all of the different sensations. I mean, we're in these avatars that are ready to rock and roll, and they take it all away and just make us obey and sit there and learn things in our heads for like 20 years before we get to go work in their slave minds and stuff for them. It's like all that energy. And then they let you do perverted stuff or corrupted stuff. It feels good. Same with people in MK. I mean, you know, you take somebody who has no power and then you put him in a super soldier and, you know, let him run the charge on a planet. And you don't think that some part of them is going to get off on that. And then that we get addicted to getting off on corruption. And as a matter of fact, that's Stockholm syndrome, right? Corruption feels like home. That's mom. Me and corruption, that's where I feel safe. I know that territory. And even, you know, sadomasochism, you know, that's huge. As actually the patterning of that is almost right through all of our sexuality.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And they say, oh, it's okay. Just play out the game, whatever gets you off. Like, no.
No, you can, as a woman, you can whore yourself out literally to, and I don't mean, you know, paying for sex, but literally whore yourself out to every man that you ever have a relationship with, or woman, to be quite honest. If you're a frequency match for your wounds and your triggers, and then you know, you're going to go in there because you want it. You want that draw. You want that fight. You want that pull. You want that sort of like abrasiveness, because that's all you've known. That's normal.
That's sensation. You know, we crave sensation, and they made our bodies evil. They've made sensation evil, sinful. Exactly. Or it's either sinful or it's pervert or it's corrupted.
Exactly. Sinful, you know? Sexual, pornographic, whore yourself out. It can never be nurturing. It can never be expansive. It can never be loving. It can never be just sensual. No, it has to be the whole kind of like pornographic, you know, you've got to get your tits out to please a man. And it's like, no, that the I can't even say it, the hypersexualization and the over-sexualization of children and women, and God knows, and it's even getting worse. It's even getting worse as time goes on. I thought it might have even got better, but it's just getting worse. I mean, seeing some of the I don't even watch like broadcasted TV, but some of the music that I'm seeing that is being pumped out to children, you know, there's a watershed on TV for a reason. But it doesn't seem to sort of like happen when you're playing a music video to a child that's got boobs, dildos, women that are sort of like partially dressed with string on, you know, and everything hanging out. And it's like, this is supposed to be an empowered woman. This is supposed to be an empowered, sexual, sensual, multidimensional woman. And she's there like with her tits hanging out and God knows what, whoring herself out to MTV and all of that. And I'm like, that's an empowered woman now, is it? And this is what they're pumping out to our children. It's like, no.
Yes, but women are going to have to. Do you know how many women are permissioning that? Do you ever see these stage moms, these Hollywood moms? I mean, it's so thick. You know, I really recommend everybody go get on firstwaveindigo.com Laura Lee's book, The Porn Vibration, because it's been normalized to such an extent. And it's all, I mean, you can't keep someone in solitary confinement and then flash images like that and don't expect them to get aroused. I mean, I remember I remember this past life where I was being pulled around by this guy in the Wild West, and I was like, I had my arms and legs. I was like a baseball, you know, the home plate, you know. I was like, and he's all I had, and he had this wagon, and we were, you know, and he did horrible things to me, and I got, but it was the only touch, it was the only human anything I got. And you know, when you go into recall and you remember these things, you hate yourself so much, but you have to get, look, like it. It is a rough ride here, you all. Don't fault yourself from any kinky things that you've been into. That's what there was, you know?
Yeah.
So Tyler says, will the hatred, distrust of the feminine naturally heal when we heal the inner baby and mother wound? Uh, well, um, it's a choice. I mean, all of these parts are you. You get them all talking, you get them, and then you decide, are you going to let it? But, are you just going to, oh, I just love all women now? Like, that would be dumb because this is in all women. So you gotta, that's a hard question, Tyler. It's a hard question. Nothing is automatically gone in this work. Why? Because then I would just be turning people into robots. Here, let's dump this program and I'll reprogram you in this way. And then you'll be a happy program person instead of a miserable slave program person. But you're still not a person. The whole idea is your will has been stolen. Get it back and start making choices for your life. And if there's a part of you that's fighting you, you're going to wrestle that baby down until it reintegrates. Do you have a comment for that, Emma?
I do actually. No, you don't actually wrestle the baby down. You don't wrestle but you're in a baby down. What I have come to understand or learn is that our inner children have to be satiated, their needs have to be met, and they have to grow up. But we also then, because we need to do that with our inner children, it's also good to then be our own inner mothers or inner fathers. We have to, it's not just about the inner baby, it's about being that inner mother too. So you've got your outer mother and you've got your inner mother, and it's bringing them together, so you see your mother for who she is and you can release and process that anger and you can express it, but also come to a point where you can see that mother, the outer mother, for who she is, but then turn that, your inner mother, into that compassionate, loving, tender, nurturing being that you need. Yeah. So it's, like I say, it's not.
No, that you said that very completely. That's very good. And the question is, how are you going to do that when you've never had any love? So because that's a learning curve right there, right? Because like there's an anonymous gentleman who is, when you open up and you start connecting to your guidance and to source through direct connection and through nature and through animals and through organic life, there's all of these beings are going to start loving on you, and they're going to teach you how to love on someone. It's a circle. So, and that's why it's quantum disentanglement, because this is shut down and then you can't do it. But somewhere the leak breaks open. Somewhere, it's through the cracks that let the light get in. Yeah. There's a couple comments here. Oh, there's estrogen in beer. I know the feminization of humanity, men and the feminine and women. We're all supposed to be these instant gratification consumer robots. Terrified of ourselves, terrified to break free, terrified to be empowered, terrified to go against the herd and just buy and consume and whatever makes me feel good in the moment. No integrity about, I'm here on a mission. A lot of this is going to suck, actually. A lot of it's going to feel horrible, and I'm going to persevere because that's what it takes, because that's what's happened here. And learning the strength and the perseverance and all the qualities of a noble warrior who can get a job done and start finding satisfaction by that discipline and that self-mastery that super humbles you, because we're really screwed up. We're lazy, we're estrogen couch potatoes, we're entitled, we've got every bullshit image about what we think we deserve and who the heck we think we are, and we have to get, we've got to surrender that ego, and the self is very humble, and we're learning how to do everything. And so it's like, we're going to make a lot of mistakes, you guys. We're going to screw up. We're going to be babies crawling when we're already grown-ups. I mean, this is weird. And we got to be willing to be weird, you know, and we got to be willing to be whatever it takes. And as we do that, then new templates are birthed into the collective. It's not just a big jellyfish of avoidance behavior, these collective thought forms. You must never be a self. It will kill you. It's like all fake news in the collective unconscious. Everyone's, well, where do I go? Who am I? And all they're hearing are lies in the collective and the personal unconscious. So you got to clean all that out. And then you got to get reestablished. And that's where, you know, some of these tools to where you get the real connection without it killing you and without them coming to kill you while you're in the middle of World War III. I mean, this is not for the faint of heart.
I'll say.
So Shu says, yes, you are so right about the porn vibration. I love Laura Lee's book. You two are super awesome. You are super awesome. And you're going to get on here and talk one day, Miss Girl. Okay. I want all these people to come on. April, healing brings compassion and understanding to the collective healing. This is core to healing, getting off the merry-go-round. Ouroboros, I always say that wrong. Self-replicating, infinity looping. So true, my very wise sister. That is at the surface now to truly shift our reality. Right on. Yes. Yeah. And I mean, there's some amazing healers in this chat right now, some incredible people right here. And they never like it when I bring it back to the inner baby and the demon child. It's like boring. I want to save the entire omniverse. I don't want to save my inner baby. But you got to, because if you don't have a foundation, they will take you down. Don't think they're going to just let you, oh, I can be free because I love my inner baby. And they all lived happily ever after. Is it like that, Emma?
No. No. It's not even just about loving your inner, it's self-love is it's a real odd thing, because I learn something new about it every time I integrate something, or I love myself, or I express something, or I process something. And it's such a wonderful thing, because I still don't know anything. You know, it's like being humble. I don't know anything, but I am here to persevere, and I am here to take those steps through. And it is important to love that inner child, because that's all where it starts. And when we can really face those inner demons, those inner demon babies, and look at them and understand why they're like that, and it's, you know, and let them know that it's completely justified that they're like that, but also accept them that they're like that, you know, because there are so many parts of us that we really do hate about ourselves, that we will do anything to avoid facing that part of ourselves that really truly has the greatest healing. You know,
Thank you.
it's
That's
those.
really beautifully said. Very beautifully said. Sue, could you write, because she's like an incredible mystic in her own right. She gets amazing messages. She's working with the rocks and the eggs, the cryogenetic rocks and eggs now. And you were talking about, in one of our chats, about the game of, when the game of duality ends, AI won't have anything to eat anymore. I mean, you said it your own way. If you could paraphrase it in the chat box, because that put it all together for me, because I keep, you know, having to get back to the basics of owning these fractured parts, the shadow parts, you know, integrating the dark and the light, bringing all the pieces together. And at these, well, sometimes it's a kindergarten level. Literally, these parts of us are like little babies that have to grow up and have to get unfrozen. And but because I'm always questioning everything I do. Do we really need to do this? Can we just overjump this? Can we just move on? But, people are talking about 5D, right? And all the non-dual people. I mean, we're all saying the same thing with different languaging, that the end of this game, the birth of the new human, comes when you own it all and integrate it all and bring it all into that space. And then this miracle happens because you face the truth of it all. You're part of it, the part you need to clean up, the part you never got straight about, the part you couldn't love, the part that you got all down and dirty and hid under the purge, a complete soul purge where you could stand in front of the greatest light being in the, and you're good. You can move on. You can go home. You can go wherever you want to go. You have, you're turning from a corrupted system to an uncorrupted system. And as you do it, that gives source an opportunity to birth the next version of the human through you. So that then that template is in the collective imagination and others. Now it exists. Like I say, every template isn't full of corruption. But to do that, I mean, I think that it's what, so this thing that, the thing that you said, that when the game of duality, and you were getting a lot of forced agreements about that too, that we had a lot of forced agreements never to break the game of duality. A very large paradigm shift is coming very soon. 12/21/2020, she says, is an extremely important date. It will shift us bit by bit into the game of balance neutrality. That's it. You see, until we clean up all of these places, we ain't going to be holding neutrality. We wouldn't have the power to do it. Does that make any sense to you in the room, to you? Okay. So that's why we're, adding everything in the kitchen sink to the pot here. Yes? Okay. All right. I want to talk about the female collective because she attacked me so ferociously last night. And I'd got, you need to really, I said, why me? Why in the middle of the, we're just having a little talk about inner babies. And I went, oh, we're not supposed to just have a little talk about inner babies. We're supposed to talk about this beast that has become the collective unconscious called the female collective. Okay. And it's like a huge thing. It has a life of its own. And it has people who probably you've seen on the news in command positions. It's like its own spaceship, its own thing that comes for women and enlists them into the hive mind of female hatred and has them work in different times in different ways. Take him down. Oh, let's pop her into that body and then we can bring her here and then she can lay a curse on him. I mean, the ferocious, the relentless, the ever-present diligence of the dark feminine is something that us love, and I can't even say us, you love and lighters can't even fathom, but you better start wrapping your head around this. Because until you can get how sinister the game is, it's also true for AI and it's also true for the Dark Lords, okay? I'm not trying to say it's only her, but it is one of my missions to expose her, okay? And she never sleeps. She's coming up with new stuff. I mean, she got every toy, everything, and she, and she is coming for your boys. She's coming for your sexuality. She's coming for your little girls. She's coming for everything. And she wants to turn it all horrible and eat it. And then she's giving it to all her AI friends and and they get to just stay here and chew on us forever. And until that banquet stops, I mean, even a new president, my people, that ain't going to change that. You got to stop permissioning that in yourself, in your family, in your relationships, in whatever you see. and with love, if that is possible. The game of balance, forced agreements don't, in the game of balance, forced agreements don't exist. Now, see, that's huge. See, we're talking about getting to a place where the stuff, what they're doing to us, cannot exist. We are close to that, but we are going to have to make such an effort. Each one of us. I don't know what that means. And, my ego would love to tell you what you should be doing because I was a dark sister too. But no, you got to find it out. But you got to, I don't know what that means. What happened here? Hi, Tina. Tenny? This message is held for review. Oh, really? Show. Somebody took your message off of a Zoom chat. Oh, they're monitoring us even in our Zoom chat. Oh no, this is YouTube. Duh. Oh, good. Well, we finally got I was thinking we just weren't on our game here.
Well, now we're getting noticed. That's it. We're getting noticed now.
When did that happen? What was the message they took out? That's interesting. Our awakening is the weak spot of the asshole AI. Oh my God. Now that I want a t-shirt that says that. That's great. Our awakening is the weak spot of the asshole AI. Okay. All right. But did I say enough about, all right, I'm going to go over some things here. And so this is kind of redundant. Just breathe and maybe, I know sometimes you have to say the same thing a zillion times because these are still parts of us. We still are contracted. They don't want you to hear it. They block you out. They make you tired. You get brain fog. You don't hear me. Okay, so we are in a war and each of you's target. It's a war on many levels. It's psychological, and it's about being absorbed into a sinister AI that is taking us over from the inside out. This show is about giving you support and tools to break out of the implantation and targeting cage they have so many of our brightest and our best in. It's for you, for your sovereignty, for you to master yourself and not be collateral damage in this global attempt at total totalitarian control. This is for you, to help you find center, to find the calm and joy and direction and connection and wisdom to survive and contribute. It's why we all came here. Each one of you can excavate your own alliance with the corrupt control grid that you took on under gunpoint, under extreme duress. The outer world is sometimes out of control, but the energy and intention you make moment by moment impact the whole and create the new templates for humanity as the old deconstructs. Let's unpack the inner jails most of us are hiding within. This gives us a new position to assist, impact, make choices, and have compassion. Why are millions defending those rulers who are criminals and will lock them down forever? So again, this is like a way of kind of bringing it all together, almost like just a saying it. So, and just to let it sink in deeper, maybe. From the beginning of life, we're conditioned by adultism. Thank you, Michael Tessarian. To obey the will of the status quo or matrix control grid. Most of our mothers, through repeated trauma-based mind control ancestrally, were unable to be present in a calm and loving way with us in the primary imprinting months of life. Our wills were broken by the one person who needed to help us embody and anchor in love. Most of us have zero memories of this most crucial time when our primary imprint took command of our behavior, our thoughts, and our feelings, and a lot more. After that, the job of the matrix mother was to insert her compromised will into us. The matrix comes for us from day dot via the terrible mother, unslaved.com. What's AI got to do with it? Without our will, we are absorbed more and more into the AI imposition. We hide our authentic selves, even from ourselves, and become one of the cover personas addicted to lies and deceit, holding on to our predator control for dear life, death actually. Defending our controllers and abusers is what is now a pandemic of fear, ending in ongoing Stockholm syndrome. That syndrome is when we are hypnotically seeking people who will abandon, betray, hurt, and destroy us. All we have known is core rejection, and so we seek it again and again and again until we do our quantum disentanglement, shadow work, cryogenetics, and break free. Okay, so can you see through the lies to the real truth of what is happening? Or are you confused and frightened? And if you are so not alone. The Literally, there are a lot of people out there, and I think I'll stop with this and then you can close with what you want, that really are confused right now, they just don't know what, I mean, I know people that like had Trump derangement syndrome, and now they're like, they don't even know anymore. You know, it's very, very scary to not have a home to go into here. And all of us can help in big and small ways. You know, I have people that are, you know, they have a lot mogul jobs, and they, you know, I think all of us can be lighthouses, seed planters, and support, because you do not know who is going to get it tomorrow. And they might be sitting right next to you, you know, somewhere, or, you know, 6 feet from you or whatever. And a word to them, uh, or making space, or getting on a forum, or becoming a digital warrior, or creating your own forum, or, you know, having a little Zoom group of people that you know, or just, you know, taking a little extra step and come with the best part of you. um, I think that the help you could offer right now is so beyond what you even dream you could do. Oh, Bronny Starseed, they don't want your, oh, they don't want you to say Trump derangement syndrome, my earth. Oh, they won't even let us say it on YouTube. And it's epidemic. It's pretty crazy out there, you guys. Um, so we're kind of wind up. You know, this is a little kind of, this is kind of what I felt to talk about this stuff. And we'll just be here every Sunday, and if you know, any of you want to come on here, you can. Because I just want to hang out, and but also this is my little, put it on YouTube, see who else trundles by, you know, see who else may go, oh my God, because it's not out there. And part of me doesn't even want to do it. It's like there's such dense energy out here right now. It's like I so don't want to do this, but I'm trying to make the extra step, the extra effort too, because it's such a pivotal time. Yeah. Emma, any closing statements?
Yes, it is a pivotal time, and my my own passion is very much like yours. It's to get this work out. It's to really show people and share with people that they can liberate themselves, that they can heal themselves, that all is not lost. All is not lost, and you can come home and you can find your home, and it's right here. And it's right here.
That's beautiful. So if you wish to, I guess down in the description, how you contact me with my course, Sienna Lea, Shadow Synthesis, Rise Multiversity, and Laura Lee Mystica. She has the cryogenetic book, and she has a whole course thing in the Rise Multiversity shop. We got tons of really cool stuff to support you in our shop. And Emma, how do they get hold of you? Because you're working with people now, aren't you?
I am, yes. Like I say, I mean, you can contact me through Sienna if you wish to that way. You can contact me on Facebook. It's under Emma Broomhall. My Facebook profile is public. I'm also on Instagram, which is Emma Living Free 1001. It's my face everywhere, you can't miss it. So yeah, I'm working with people to break through blocks, limiting beliefs, step into abundance, step into business, step into themselves, and to step away from the matrix. So yes, that's what I'm helping
She
people.
is really good. I mean, she had a lot of dark femme, and she is a powerhouse. And now she's bringing into manifestation. If you need someone to give you a little loving, very funny, very fun push to get like, let's say you have to change from a muggle job and you don't know even where to begin, contact her. I think that you will be a huge coach for people, and you understand this whole territory, and nothing's too woo-woo, and you can
Oh,
let people be
no.
authentic, because the whole thing is, how do I be authentic and make money, or survive, or do this, or maybe how do I be authentic and fulfill my political part? How do I get out there? And I just think that Emma is your blast off girl for that kind of inspiration. I just know that you really will help people. I mean, we're all kind of like, and now I got to do what? I got to untangle all this and then rebirth this new self and then go make enough money. What? So it helps to get by with a little help from our friends. And
Absolutely,
it
absolutely.
absolutely does.
And
What else?
it's good to get paid to be, it's good to get paid to be yourself. Yeah, so many years I was in, your muggle job, and you you're oppressed, suppressed, robot in your uniform, got to go into work, clock in, clock out, can't say anything, can't be yourself. To that, seriously.
Emma, you put a lot of really kick-ass posts on every day with rah and authentic and real and great energy. I mean, they get me going on there with my call. Another day, here we go. Okay, who killed what? Oh, we still got a planet left. And there's Emma going, it's another day. I'm going,
Hey, the thing is, you gotta bring it. You know what I mean? Whatever the day brings, it's going to be good, bad, ugly, indifferent. Doesn't matter. It's all about your attitude to it. And yeah, I was like victim mode. I was like, where is me? I can't do that and all that kind of thing. Now I'm just like, bring it on, because I'm ready for you. I'm ready for you. I'm ready to step into power. I'm ready to step into yourself. I'm ready to step into wholeness. I'm ready to step into love. Who wants to come with me?
see, this is a dark sister in recovery. She's taken all that dark power and and we got to do that. It's scary to come out with your power, because we're supposed to be not, women are to be seen and not heard, or you're not supposed to have real energy, or you just being made to wear your suit and look like a guy or what, but come out like you. And so, I mean, so Emma, how do they could follow you on
Yeah,
Facebook, right? Because every
honestly,
day you give a little talk and you're just cool.
it's the thing is, I get paid to be me. I want to inspire. My hope is that I can inspire other women, men, like I say men too, but other women, to see me and go, do you know something? I've had a bit of a shit time. I don't want a shit time anymore. Excuse my language. I
I
don't want
don't
to.
worry about it.
I don't want a shit time anymore. And it's like, I've had enough. I've got my line in the sand here, and I want more. I want more out of life. I want more for me. I want more in my heart. I want more money. I want to express myself more. I want to get this message out. I'm healing and I want to get this message out. And that's me. And I know there are plenty of women out there who are ready to step away from all the collective darkness that's going on, and they want to do something, and they want to say something, and they want to send out a message, and a lot of people don't even know where to start, and that's where I come in. You know what I mean? And all it is a conversation. All it is a conversation. Nobody has to do anything they don't want to. Find me, Emma Broomhall, BROOMHALL. Find me on Facebook, add me, come and have a chat.
It's
Easy
really
as.
okay to need a little push, you all. I don't
Oh,
know. I mean, I'm super fire dynamo.
And what we're living through here, man, it's like, I need two armed guards to pull me out of bed in the morning. All right. So it's okay to, we get by with helping each other. It's really okay. And I hope more and more of that happens. And I just wanted to read one thing before we close from Barani, because he's had this incredible experience with the divine feminine from outside the hologram, because he's working with me and the cryogenetic material. And so the emperor showed up in his life. It's been blowing my mind just to witness this. And he wanted to share this, and I would like you to too. Mother Empress Aurora is amazing. Feeling her love and embrace around has opened my eyes and heart to a level of imposition, program, and manipulation that I have been marinating in for 38 years. Well, thank you for being open to it. That is, yeah, because when I first met this gentleman, he's like, well, I don't really feel anything. I don't get anything. Mr. Shutdown, hi, can you help me? And I went, oh, we'll give it a try. Okay. And the next thing, like, bang. It's like, and he's a guy. It's so great. So great. Mwah. Okay, let's go. Well, let's keep it to an hour and a half. And thank you, April and Sue and Bronnie and Tyler and Solantra. And this show is going to be all of ours. It's going to grow. Anna, bless your hearts for showing up. I really appreciate it too, because this is so a team effort. Yeah.
And small teams are good because they get to really know each other. Okay. All right. Much love. And do we have, yeah, stay in touch. We're going to have more fun places to hang out soon. Okay. Bye.